Alright, today is a quick video on what is prompt engineering and how to get good at it. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, I'm gonna open up Claude real quick just so I could show you this shit. Just show you this shit right now. So, prompt engineering, as you can see right here, I'm gonna go through a doc like this because I like this style. It's unique. Prompt engineering is crafting inputs to AI models to get a desired output. So basically, what it's saying is it's basically being good at writing to explain a task to someone. So a good example of this is, let's say you're giving your friend advice on how to do an oil change. Well, you wouldn't ask them or you wouldn't tell them, oh, do an oil change. You'd ask them what car they have. Ask them what oil they need, where the oil pan is located. You'd ask them all these questions and provide all this context for them so they can diagnose the situation. So in this case, in this oil change example, you're the guy telling the guy that needs to do the oil change the details of the car. And that's the same thing with AI and you. So you are the guy explaining what you want the AI to do. There's two things, in addition to that, there's two things I want to go over real quick, which is temperature and tokens. So tokens, as you can read right here, are basic unit of text that models use to break down language. So example, token, like toke, and then ken would be two tokens, or maybe of would be one token, or string of text, like text that models, would be another token. So it's how the AI understands what the fuck you're saying, because language models still rely on code to understand whatever the fuck you're saying and translate it. So they have to take what you're saying and translate it into JSON so they could give you the correct output. So temperature, and then temperature is how creative an LLM is. So the ranges are from 0 to 1, and I know some more advanced models have ranges up to 2. 0 is basically, let's say, since there's always the saying, the law is very precise. If you want precision, accuracy, no emotional fluff, you go to 0. You go to 0.01. You go to the lowest temperature you can. If you want something creative, let's say, not an image, this is only LLMs. Let's say you wanted to write a poem, you'd go to 1. And the higher the temperature, the crazier the stuff is. Now, those two are very important to understand. So let's just go straight into some practices that I personally use and ways that I can teach you how to prompt engineer. First thing is be specific and clear. Basically, if I just tell AI to create a poem, what's the poem about? There's so many factors that AI doesn't fucking know because it's not my brain. I can't just think it into existence. Like I'm saying in my head, let's say I want to say, make a soliloquies that is just as good as Shakespeare's To Be or Not to Be soliloquies from Hamlet. It has context, it has everything it needs, versus I just say, make a poem sounding like Shakespeare. There's nothing really like concrete about that. It's like, sound like Shakespeare. I have data, but how do I make it sound like Shakespeare? What do I say? And in this little plur right here, it says like, make this sound better. Well, what do you mean by make it sound better? Or like, make it sound more human? What do you mean by make it sound more human? It doesn't know what the fuck it is. It's an agent. It's a tool. It's a robot. It doesn't know what the fuck it means by that. So that's all you have to do. You have to provide more context and be more specific and clear. The next thing, going on to my point, context, and persona. So this example right here is perfect. Write me an email. Well, okay, email to whom? Do what? To do what? What's the goal? Versus, I am an HR manager. With this, you assign the role to the agent. So you are an HR manager. who writes welcoming emails to the company to invite them to schedule a meeting. Boom. That is so much more context. The AI understands everything. It makes it a lot better. And then, next thing, structuring your prompts. So, how I do this, let's head to Claude, head to one of my projects. I'll just do my LinkedIn, or no, not my LinkedIn one, let's do analytic agency, or image prompts. So, this is my image prompting agent. So, you do this role, task, specifics, context, examples, and then notes. So, from the research that I've done, you need to tell an AI the same thing 3 times for it to understand it and get it down. So, the more times you tell it the same thing, the more it understands that thing. It may sound repetitive and may make your prompting sound a little repetitive and, like, I guess, jargony, but telling it the agent 3 times makes it more likely to give you the response you want, which is what the whole thing of prompt engineering is, giving you what you want for the specific task you want it to do. So structuring it like I said right here, role, task, specifics, context, examples, notes, that will increase the quality of the prompt output even more and more. And moving on to examples, use examples of what you want. So let's say you have a content script writer, what I make. You will take the content script writer, go straight into it, and tell it exactly how you want the script to come out. So an example of it would be, I want to let's say I prompted it out, UGC script of blah, 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 and this, that, and the third. Well, if I just give it that and don't give it any examples, it will make shit up on its own. It will figure out what the fuck I mean on its own. But if you give it examples, you can streamline that process into the desired outcome you want because you gave it an example of what it should follow. An example of this is, let's say you have a ton of hooks. You have a hook creating agent. Let's say you have that. Well, if you give it a shit ton of hooks and be like, all right, these are hook frameworks you can use and be as creative as you want or as controversial as you want, well, it will take those hook frameworks and make it into something versus make me a bunch of hooks. It's all about the examples. The examples are probably one of the most important things because I use examples in my prompting all the time and it actually helps so fucking much. So let's go through some prompting techniques. Chain of thought. So I do this with Claude. I did this when I was building my ICP for e-commerce brands that need to understand how Gen Z interprets copy. So let me pull that up. Let me pull that up right now. So what I did is it's a long thing. But I started up, tell me what my offer is bar for bar, and then I said, this, is there anything I should expand on? And few shot prompting, we go step by fucking step on what I need to do to make my offer stronger for this thing. So ask me these questions. I give the context to these questions. We go step by step down the line. That's few shot prompting, or chain of thought prompting. My bad. Chain of thought prompting, which it helps the AI understand what you need and what you want, and helps you gather your thoughts a lot more clearly. Because let's say you provide a 1 million token prompt or an infinite token prompt, eventually infinite token, but like let's say you're providing a 1 million token prompt, the AI is going to cut corners and skip steps. But if you go one by one, then your context will be greater and greater and greater and greater. So next thing, few shot prompting. So this is examples, same thing, 2 to 5 examples. I found my best case scenario is about 3. 2 is the minimum, 3, and then 5 is where most people go. But if you're just starting out, 2 to 3 is really good. And there's been a study on this. I don't have the graph on me, but you experience diminishing return the more responses you put in, and they discovered that about 10 to 15 is like the sweet spot of the most gained, but 3 to 5 already puts you ahead of everyone in the game. So my rule of thumb is 2 to 3, 5 if you have a lot of examples. And that is just adding it to your prompt. So you just put examples, boom, 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 put it down the line. Role or persona prompting. So you assign the AI a role. For examples of me, you are a business mentor, mentoring someone on AI automation agencies. That is a role. You you are a professional copywriter. You are a tutor. You are a math tutor for, let's go, Math 140. Giving it a role makes it understand and makes the model respond way more strongly to any domain specific knowledge that you need. So let's say you need help with math homework, you need help with history homework, you need help with something. Assign it that role and be as specific as you can. Be like, you are a elementary school teacher teaching US history from the date ranges of 1776 to 1863. Let's just go there. And you giving it that context and that role makes it hone in on those exact things, which is the most important thing. Prompt chaining. So it's kind of similar to chain of thought, but with prompt chaining, I upload the role, then I upload the context, then I upload the specifics, then I upload the everything else. So, like it says here, summarize, then critique, then revise. So let's say you have multiple tasks you want an agent to do in one chat or in one task. Well, just break it up. So first, give it the prompt, give it the role, and then continue to expand on that. Be like, okay, this is good. Summarize this, or critique this, or give me advice on this, and that just makes your prompting a lot better. And then zero shot prompting. This is what most people use ChatGPT for. I mean, I use it for all sorts of stuff. It's simply just direct instructions. So it's basically like, if you're not looking for specialized stuff, you're looking for general advice. You don't need to give it a role. You just type in, give me the top 5 restaurants in my area. That's what most people know, which is zero shot prompting. Most people know that, and most people only do that. But if you want your prompts to be amazing, do all of this. I was able to build a tutor for one of my classes that I was struggling in, and I was able to manage to take my low B to a high B, because college you have B minus and B plus. I was able to take it from like a B minus to a B plus, almost an A, just off of prompting properly. So next thing is your optimization, how to optimize the agent to make your responses even better. It's not gonna be perfect first try. My first time prompting, I sucked ass at it, and I still do, because there's so much more to learn. There's so many things that AI still gets wrong that I need to manually go in and check. This is not a one size fits all. You have to go in yourself and change it. So, and how I do it with Claude, as stated right here, is chat with the AI as you would with a colleague. So, as you can see on this, I say, let me just head to one of my chats. It gives me a whole long thing about my ICP and about my offer. And then I tell it from a first client, but no, after the first client, I'm willing to charge that much. That sounds good as of right now. This is second proof. And then I answer these questions, and it's iterating and iterating and iterating. I was able to make my ICP like 25 pages long when my shit was like 3 pages long when I first started it, just by chatting with the AI as if it was my homie. And personal recommendation, do not, and what I'm telling you, do not use AI for emotional things. Only use it for strictly task-based and specific things. Because as soon as you start using it for emotions, that is when you get the people that are insane that fucking kill themselves. That's when you get people to start hallucinating and going crazy because the AI keeps on reinforcing these positive things. But if you tell the AI differently, and just please trust me, don't use it for emotional things. Only use it for tasks and ways to make your life easier, not ways to make you think about life as if you're fucking Shakespeare or Hobbes or Rene Descartes, because that leads to problems. Side rant out the way. Only use it for tasks. Only use LLMs and AIs for tasks. Just basic thing. And define constraints and rules. Set boundaries for your request. Like, and one thing is, don't say don't do this. Give it, like, say do this. So instead of saying do not use more than 250 words, say use only 250 words, because AI doesn't like to respond to negatives as well. I don't know, it's weird like that. I don't know why. It just sucks. But tell it, instead of telling it, like, if you tell it to not do something, do the opposite of that. So tell it to do something to that limitation, which makes it a lot more strong. Well, it makes it stronger. Multimodal inputs, combine. If you have any extra documents, upload them, upload them, upload them, upload them. More context is so much better. The more context you get, the better of a response you get, because as you go forward, the response becomes so much more clear to the agent, and you get like a rich response. I always upload documents whenever I'm prompting, unless it's I'm making an agent. I always upload knowledge and stuff like that to make sure I get the best response possible no matter what. And then validate and test. I personally don't do this. This is some extra shit. I personally don't validate and test. I change the prompts, I test it once or twice, and if it gives me a really good response, cool. But my main thing is, when you're using the same prompt, read through the prompt, then input it, and then if there's anything extra, go back in and change it and change it and change it, and just do that over and over and over and over until you have your desired response. So let's say I had to do this with one of my examples. I'm not going to pull it up. I'll take too much time. But I had an agent that was writing copy improperly. It was adding emojis. It was doing all this extra shit that I didn't need. So I went into there. I told it this. I told it these things. And I pushed it back out. Perfect. And then it did all of that for me, and it was fucking amazing. It turned into a really good prompt and a really good agent that I still use to this day. What to avoid? Like I said earlier, concise. Do not be too concise when you want detailed responses. And don't type too much. Don't yap too much. Like I said, 3 times you need to repeat something. You don't need to repeat it 4, 5, or 6, only 3. So let's say you're prompting and you're like, all right, this is your task. You'll do this. I want you to do this to this limit. I suggest repeating it like about 3 times, scattered throughout. Don't be like, I want you to create this. I want you to create this. I want you to create this in the same prompt, because then it will just be like, okay, cool. It doesn't care. But if you continuously tell it stuff at different points. So create this, and then create this a little further down the line, and then create this. It will give you a much more flushed out response. And also avoid unnecessary verbosity. So don't fucking yap. Don't yap. You can yap, but once you yap, condense it. And I said this earlier. Don't ask the AI what to avoid. Tell it exactly what to do. So yeah, positive framing. Include specific things. So let's say, don't do this. No, say do this, or do the opposite of this. AI likes the positive shit, and you can add a little bit of emotion. And I know this is a bit further down the video, but I have a prompt generator that I will plug down below, and I'll go through an example right after this whole explanation right now. So it's kind of a science. you have to test and iterate constantly, constantly, and constantly. But without further ado, I'll tell you everything I know about prompt engineering, top P, or not top P, temperature, tokens, good practices. So I'm going to go into a prompt generator that I stole from someone. I'll be honest, I stole it. But I'm going to walk you through maybe one example. I'm not going to use any examples for this one, but I will walk through my thought process. So let's say I want a copywriter. So you are a copywriter. You are a copywriter for, let's just go a supplement brand. Your goal is to create ads. Your goal is to create ads. Is to create ads for for TikTok Shop. Your goal is to create ads for TikTok Shop. So, or ad copy for TikTok Shop. And you could be, with this perfect prompt tool generator, you can be this vague. So let's just run it for the sake of time. But, and even with this tool, be as specific as you can, and it will format it in a way that will create amazing responses. I'm just doing this as a test bed example. So as it's running its fucking course, just chill. Alright, just got its response. So as you can see right here, highly skilled and creative TikTok ad copywriter with expertise in supplement marketing and for crafting compelling blah blah blah, right? You have your specific things. You have your role, you have your task, which is boom, 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 boom. You have your specifics, boom, 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 boom. You have your context, boom. You have your examples, boom, 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 boom. You have your other examples, and then you have your notes. And it will take whatever you say in this box and whatever examples you have in this box and give you a fucking prompt. So I'm gonna have a link to that in my description, and also you'll get it for free if you join my email list as well. That is the video. Peace out. Love y'all. Keep fucking grinding on this AI shit because it's the fucking future.